Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Week number 18 of the new normal that we have here.
Uh-huh. Yep, it
Time's
is.
time is flying by when you're having fun, eh?
It is, and I'm super excited today.
And
I'm
why
s-
is that?
I'm super excited today because we're talking all about Ribfest, which is it's just a miracle that it's happening. And it's happening in a very different way this year. It's
Yeah.
like a lot of the stuff has gone virtual, and the community has really rallied around the restaurants and everything, has rallied around the Optimist Club, and has turned this around and made it happen. And it's fantastic to see what this community can do.
Well, it's nice because it's become even more local now. You know what I
Yes,
mean? But everything is coming together with the community. So that's even better, and it's all in support of the optimist.
it
So it's
is, and
wonderful. And
Lord
and at
knows
this
that.
point, and at this point too, when all the restaurants have been having a hard time, it's gonna kind of bring more people to them too. So it's wonderful.
Yes, yes. So the service clubs have suffered a lot, and the restaurants have
Hmm.
suffered a lot, and so
Hmm.
in hoping that we get good news today, because there's going to be announcements as far as reopening is concerned.
Hmm.
So we'll see how restaurants, if that's part of the stage 3. um Anyways, it's awesome. This is happening next Monday, and today we're going to be talking to Hassan,
Very.
the
Yeah.
owner of Schnitzels, Terry Muir, the president of the Optimist Club, and Gus from Texas Rangers, a Ribber, who's gonna they're gonna come on the show at 10:20 and talk to us about how that's gonna work. But before we have them on the show, I wanted to go over a few things um, that have changed for the Optimist Club and changed for the population. So there is, I want to clarify a few things because, so before we start, I'm just going to mention that I am the media relation person for Ribfest. So
That's
if
what I
you
was gonna let you introduce yourself because you know all about what's going on. I'm not really involved as much, so.
Yeah, so I wanted to say that in case people have questions,
Hmm.
this is stuff that I can answer. It's not I'm not just talking. I am aware of what's happening, and I also designed a website for Ribfest, so I
Hmm.
can guide you through. But so a lot of the things have changed in the fact that there is no midway. Of course, they can't be a midway right now. And there is no vendor show per se. Usually at Ribfest, we always have around the circle. There's always a whole bunch of people who sell their wares. So there's cowboy hats and um, uh, sunglasses, and there's uh, Avon. There's
There's
both.
Indian
There's like.
clothes. There's those Indian clothes that I like.
Yes, so there's a lot of vendors at Ribfest, but this year we are limited. We can't have those vendors. So Ribfest has decided to go completely virtual and hold a virtual show, kind of sort of like we did with the women's show.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm gonna add this to the stream right now so people can see it. The vendor event. So basically, they have the map of Ribfest, like it would be usual, and they have little tents here, and you can purchase a little tent for $50. Those are very affordable, and it
Hmm.
helps the Optimist Club. All the money goes directly to the Optimist Club to support the programs, and so if you click on any of the little tents, you'll be able to visit the vendor and go see them. But they're looking for vendors, so you can go to the website, which is cornwallribfest.com, and click right here where it says register your virtual tent. and then you can just go through the form process. And we already have quite a bit of vendors that have joined. We opened registration just Friday, so that's nice to see that people are rallying behind it and registering.
I've
So,
got a question.
mhm.
Now, with the Women's Day show, we had 2 hours where you could actually go talk to the vendors. Is this going to be the same kind of thing? You'll have a time frame where they'll pop up, or is it just you just go to their website or Facebook?
No, this is strictly linked to a website or
Okay.
to the Facebook, but it's $50 and it remains there on the Ribfest site for the entire year.
Oh,
So
wonderful.
that's a very good deal because that site gets a lot of traffic. It attracts a
Hmm.
lot of visitors. So it's a good deal. It's good publicity, good.
Hmm.
And some of the vendors have chosen also to give part of the proceeds that they sell through the website to the Optimist Club as well as an extra support. That was their choice. So it was really nice to see that happen.
Wonderful.
Um, but yeah, so that's the first thing that's happening. Um, then every year we usually have a Ribfest Idol contest competition.
Hmm.
And that's always a lot of fun, and it features uh, all the talent that we have in Cornwall. It's a pretty awesome little contest. But this year again, the band shell is not going to be opened, so we're not going to have that happening. Therefore, I'm going to share again the screen here, but we're having the Ribfest competition online, and people can go and just if they click on the button, they'll be able to upload their video. They can
Okay.
add their video to the contest. This can come from YouTube or Vimeo or Instagram, if I'm correct. And then the videos will be monitored and put online. And then after that, people can go and vote for their
Oh,
favorite.
wonderful.
So it's making it a very interactive and community orientated contest. So go and upload your videos. Make sure that uh, we have lots to choose from. There's a lot of talent. You know, Miley's. You know that this community
Oh, I
is
know.
it's just
It's bursting with talent.
it is. It really is. And so there's going to be a prize attached to your contest. So if you win the Ribfest title, there's a $500 prize attached to that. So the
Okay.
person with the most votes by July 26th will be winner of 500 cold hard cash dollars.
Prize. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was my question. What kind of timeline do they have? When can they start entering and when does it finish? Obviously it finishes on the 26th,
Yes. So
but when
as
can they
we are
start?
the 13th today, the sooner the better, because the sooner
Hmm.
you upload your videos, the more time you have for people to vote. So go on and upload all your videos. We want to see it all. It doesn't have to be singing. If you have any talent, you can just go and upload a video about your talent. They're monitored though, so don't try to send any silly stuff.
Yeah.
But
Good.
yeah, so
And you go and vote through what? The Ribfest
the
website or
same
the
the same
Facebook
thing at
page or
yeah, it's exactly at the same place. You just go down to Ribfest Idol,
okay.
and you will see right here there's a vote button. So you can just
Perfect.
go here and you vote for your favorites.
Perfect. Very simple.
Yeah, so that's the other thing happening. And then if I scroll, so we have sponsorships opportunities. Like every year, we have a lot of sponsorship opportunities for Ripfest, and that takes place in a way that so sponsors will have perks such as they'll get some ads in the Seeker, they'll get some banners on site. They get some rib dinners. They get some drinks. That's on a regular rib fest I'm talking about. So they get
Mhm.
visibilities at the event. They get an ad in the program. This year again is challenging because we don't have any of those things happening. There's no on site. Well, there is an on site, but it's not as visible as usual. There's no
Mhm.
program book. There is the website, but so the way we're doing sponsorships this year is a little different. So you just send an email to the sponsorship coordinator, and then we'll tailor package according to your budget. You can just give us your budget, and
Mhm.
we'll figure out something that can be beneficial for you. So we do have banners on site. We can put sponsors banners on site when the ribbers are going to be coming the 2 days they're here. um and we also have, like, on the website, your logo is going to be there. We do social media tags. We also um, the Optimist Club has a lot of events um, throughout the summer and throughout the year, really, where they are. So there's visibility opportunities there. So what we're going to do is every sponsor that gives us $500 and more, will put on a banner, and that banner will follow us everywhere we go. So if
Yeah,
the
because
Optimist
you guys are starting to do your barbecues again, I think, aren't you?
Yes, they've been pretty happening pretty often. I think it's almost every
Mhm.
week that we have barbecue. So that banner will follow us at those barbecues, and then you'll be also on this website right here, where all the sponsors are rotating um, for a whole year. So, and that links to the various websites. And I want to note that the restaurants have come up with a well, the Optimist Club and the restaurants have come up with a contest um, to try to encourage people to go to those restaurants when it's happening. So there's a contest happening where they
Mhm.
can win $1,000, and so that $1,000 was graciously donated by Mercedes Benz and
Wow.
Dr. Navneelan. So I want to thank those sponsors on air for what they've done. And I know we signed Raymax yesterday as well. So if you are a community partner and you are interested in becoming a sponsor, please reach out. Media at cornwallribfest.com is the email address that you can send an email to.
Mhm.
And yeah, the more sponsors we have, the better. The more vendors we have, the better. All the money is going to programs in the community.
Now that you were mentioning that $1,000 prize,
Hmm.
so basically what they do is they go and eat at the restaurant and you eat any kind of meal, right? It's not just ribs that you have to order.
So I'm going to leave that question
Oh,
for our guests, because I
yes,
am
we
not
should.
entirely sure about how. So this that we just went through, that's my
Mhm.
domain. That's my expertise. I take
Okay.
care of the sponsors. I take care of the vendors, so that I can answer. But as far as how Ribfest
How
is
that
going to
works?
be happen,
Yeah, well,
how it's taking place, like the logistics of it all, that's the main man, Terry Muir,
yeah.
that can do that. Um, we have Brian, who just gave us a question. Hopefully, the lemonade, the blooming onion, and the Jolly Rancher slushies are vendors. Again, I'm gonna let Terry answer that question. I know that he's working very hard to get the blooming onions
Oh, I hope
because
so.
that is
A staple
it
of
is.
Lake Fest.
It is actually, like,
Hmm.
I'd go like, I shouldn't be saying that, but I'd go
You
for
go by.
blooming onion before anything else,
Well, because I don't think you can get that anywhere else. It's the only
No.
place around here, anyway.
Yeah, yeah. I've never seen it around, so Lucia, good morning, beautiful. How are you doing today?
And Lucia is an amazing lady who's volunteers at the Optimist Club. She's always out there.
Yes, she is. And I'm sad to say that Lucia is moving.
Where? When? Oh, I saw her. She sold her house, but where's
Yes.
she going?
Um, I think she's going to Ottawa.
Oh,
But
she's
she's
not
gonna
that.
stay. She's gonna stay a good optimist, and she's gonna
Mm-hmm.
visit often, I'm sure.
I'm sure she's not too far.
Yeah, yeah. So anyways, yeah, what do you guys think about this new Ribfest idea and how it's going to take place? I know there was the the comments were really split. Like there's a lot of people that were concerned about bringing people from outside of town.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there were people that are just thrilled because we've been cooped up forever and there's been nothing happening. So a lot of people are happy that we were able
Oh,
to do
there's
that.
Jody.
Yes. Good
Good morning,
morning.
Jody.
We're
Yeah,
just
I'm very anxious to find out how it's all going to work, as I'm sure everybody else is too.
yeah. So we're just waiting for our guys. I'm not sure if they're coming. I'm just going to contact one of them.
So also, if anybody has any news on any events, any other events that might be happening through the month of July, August, post them on the comment section. We'd like to know because the seeker is events and happenings after all. So we would love to help you with your events and happenings. I know they're very different right now. They're not your normal way of doing things, but we'll get through this.
Yeah, it's getting better. I mean, it's encouraging to see that actually, just to touch back on our mask issue from last week.
Mm-hmm.
This week it was like more and more every day as you went to the stores. I mean, I didn't go to the stores every day, but John goes regularly, and
Yeah.
at first it was like 60% of the people and then 75, and then yesterday he went and said that about 95% of the people were masked. So that's good, like that we
Well,
can just kill it.
yeah, well, I live across the road from a convenience store too, and at first nobody was wearing masks going in there because they didn't have to, and now everybody gets out of their car, puts on their mask, and goes in the store. So it's encouraging to
Hmm.
see that people are
Yeah.
following that.
So I see that Gus and George have come on to the backstage. I'm just going to wait for all the guys to be there, and then I'll bring them on. I'm
Okay.
just waiting for Terry and Hassan.
Well, they've got 4 minutes.
So, anyway, so people, what do you think about this new Ribfest idea? We want to hear from you. I'm going to post the link in the chat box right here. You can always come on video and chat with us. We welcome your comments, your questions. I'm posting it right here. There you
And we would
go.
love to see your faces as well.
Yeah, because we only see our own faces all the
Yeah.
time. It
Yeah.
gets boring.
Yeah, it does. We want to see other people too.
So, yeah, the community was really, really supportive of this idea. So at first, it went in front of city council, and because the councillors felt that the restaurants had suffered enough, they said that they were not going to approve it. And then the restaurants came all around Ribfest, started contacting Terry and one another, and just came up with a whole different idea of how to make this happen and how to rally behind the Optimist Club and Ribfest, and and that's awesome. It's great to see this community always come together.
Yeah, it is, especially at this time, and it's been coming together more and more in many different ways. I think this may be the Ribfest of the future too, in a way, with all the restaurants coming in. So
Hmm. Yeah.
it helps everybody out.
So I see that Hassan is backstage also waiting. And I just heard from Terry telling me that he's having technical difficulties right
Oh,
now. So I'm just gonna wait on him a little longer and see if he can come. But I just wanna show people the new and improved website, which has just been redone over the last week, and I want to just go over it again and show how things are going to work. So I know that one of the features also, because we're trying to make this as much no contact as possible. So
of course.
one of the things that is happening is that people will be able to order their meals um, online, pre-order their meals online. So if we go Texas Rangers, for example, so all the meals, all the stuff is here, and they can just go on and add them to their cart and pre-order. They'll get an order number, and then once they have their order number, they will just drive over there. There'll be a place to give your paperwork to an optimist, and then they'll just be driving through to pick up their meals. But it's going to be all prepaid as much as possible, which is pretty cool.
Good. But of course, I
So
always have that question, what if you're an older person and you don't have a computer and you can't go online? Then what? But we can ask that
yeah,
from the
Terry will be able to
That's a very
answer
important
that,
question.
but I'm not seeing him.
I hope he gets over his technical difficulties
Me too. Let me just send him a message.
because he is the main man here.
Gail says, "My ribs royale."
Well, while we're waiting, I know it's a different kind of event, but because we do have a few minutes, I do want to go over a quick event that's going on at the Klein House Gallery right now on Second Street.
Yeah.
Cynthia Gaytan, one of the artists, she does wonderful flowers, paintings, and landscapes, and she's got a show on there right now that's running through to the 18th of July. Gallery hours are Wednesday to Saturday, 11 to 4. And of course, the gallery's at 204 2nd Street East. And when you go in, again, you're going to need to wear a mask, walk around, but there's so much to look at, and it's a beautiful place. I mean, it's like stepping into another world going in there. So please go and visit her show. And if you want to go check out her website, it's www.cynthiagatien.com. I hope I pronounced it right. Or
Okay.
you
So,
can,
so
uh,
Terry's trying to move to the laptop, but in the meantime, I'm just gonna bring these guys on because I don't want to keep them waiting forever in the backstage there. We'll talk to Mr. Hassan from Schnitzels. Good
hello.
morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Very well. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for being on. And then we have Gus and George, who are ribbers,
Good morning.
coming
Morning.
to Cornwall. Good
Good morning.
morning. So,
Good
Gus, you're
morning.
from Texas Ranger,
Yep.
and George, you are from.
Kratos barbecue.
Okay, so Krabbies, and so two of the ribbers that are coming over. So that's awesome. Hassan, I'm gonna start with you because it originated with you and Lee Theodore.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So can you tell me a little bit about?
How it all happened.
Yes.
Mhm.
So there was a social media post just regarding how Ribfest was still maybe coming down to the area and everything, and I just I put my opinion in there saying, this year's a little rough. I don't think it'd be a great idea. It's kind of taking some money away from the small businesses, but I'd be happy to, do something with restaurants. That way there, with the Optimist Club too, since they do so much for the community, I figured, maybe restaurants could do something. And again, this was just an idea. I didn't think, anyone would go ahead with it. I figured the Ribfest thing, if it was going to happen, it was going to happen. I can't do anything about it. Again, it was just an opinion. Then one day, Lee Theodore came knocking on the back alley door, and he's like, "So, how can we get this going?" And I was like, I guess we could just kind of figure out what details we could do and what restaurants. And from there, the ball started rolling. And it was just, again, we want to make sure this community stays together and not apart. And during these crazy times right now, everyone's always saying, you're wrong, or you're wrong. So we just figure, okay, let's work together. And we got in contact with Terry and met at the Spicy Pearl. And that's where we kind of got the ball going. And now we're at this spot, and we're super excited. I can't wait to see what next week brings. And I'm excited to see the flavors down. And we're still able to do Ribfest still, but a different way.
Yes, absolutely. So Terry's backstage.
Oh, good.
I'm gonna bring him in. Somebody's speakers are on. Is that yours, Hassan?
Might be.
Okay. So I'm gonna bring Terry in. Here he is.
Hi, Terry.
Eventually, I got here.
Technical difficulties, eh? So we have some
these
feedback.
meetings. Yeah, these meetings are not like walking into a room, unlocking the door, and going and sitting down, right, Terry? I've had difficulties too.
Let's see. Nope.
Hopefully, when we get back to some kind of normal soon.
Okay, I think I'm gonna have to mute Hassan because I think it's his speakers. No, it's not. I'm gonna. No. Sorry. We're just having feedback for some reason. I'm gonna mute Terry. Okay, so it's Miley's. Okay, Miley's, you're the guilty party. I don't know why your speakers are picking up, but I got them. You were fine just before. I don't know why. Did you change something? Okay, well, I'm gonna mute you and unmute you when you're talking. Okay. So Terry, I was just talking to Hassan, and he explained to me a little bit how this all started. I just want to know how it started for you.
Well, I mean, obviously, we can't have our regular event that we have every year, and so whenever things weren't going exactly as planned, Lee Theodore reached out and had a discussion with myself and with Hassan, and then we met together with Roger Caron too, and Hassan threw some ideas out, and we worked together, and between the four of us, and developed something that could involve the entire community, and here we are. So we kind of split the difference. We're going to have a whole week of the restaurants supporting the Optimist Club of Cornwall, which is amazing, and we're still going to have a few of our traditional rippers come down. So it's as I've said many times, it's a win-win for everybody involved.
And I heard like it was a back alley deal kind of thing, right?
It might have been a meeting in a dark alley at a back door or something. It's what happens at Schnitzel's.
Yeah, we say that a lot at Schnitzel's.
So, Gus and George, one thing I'm curious about is So you've probably been hit particularly hard with this COVID-19 thing. How does your industry adapt? And
Well, this is how we adapt. We change it to drive-through.
uh-huh.
You know, between George and myself, George probably does, 40 some odd events. I probably do about 30 some odd all across Canada. And we've been hurt pretty bad,
Mhm.
and a lot of the charities have been affected by this, and not just that. I mean, restaurants, hotels, all kinds of places are hurting right now. So, we came up with this good plan. Hopefully it works out well for everybody. I can't see it not working out. But yeah, we've been hit pretty hard for sure.
Have you done other drive-through events so far?
Well, this one will be our first one coming to Cornwall. There has been a few done already. They were very successful.
Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of hoping we're going to bring the same success to Cornwall.
Good. And at the same time, it will be successful. It cannot not be, because there's been nothing. Everybody
Yeah,
has
exactly.
been
I
cooped
think
up.
people need it. People need
absolutely,
it, right?
I agree.
Everybody needs it.
I agree.
It'll feel like a normal kind of thing, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you know what? I love the fact that we're involving restaurants. I love the fact that it's being embraced. We can't please everybody, but I'm telling you, I think everybody coming together has been positive.
Yes, it is. It's been the silver lining of this all has been that everybody in the community has been working together, which is really tremendous and awesome.
It seems as though this is the only community that is trying to involve everybody. I think I could be wrong, but as of right now, from what I'm seeing, everybody coming together. We haven't encountered that yet. Not that I've seen. Right.
We're pretty special in Cornwall.
We got big hearts in this town, Like I said it a million times, is that when you need it, this community really comes together.
Yeah, I tried to unmute my leaf, but that's not working, so I'm just gonna give up on that.
But it's such a unique concept of having everybody work together, and I mean, I think it's going to open doors up for stuff that we can do in the future, and that because it's a great group to work with. I mean, and we're all here for one reason, right? I mean, yes, most of the people involved here are businesses, and they have to make a profit to survive what they just went through and everything else. But at the end of the day, we're all trying to make the community a little bit better.
Absolutely. So, okay. So a lot of people have been asking, what is this going to look like?
Well, from which end? If we're talking about the restaurant end?
So, well, let's start with the restaurant end.
Okay. So starting Monday morning, you can start supporting your local restaurants, and they've identified items. Some have one item. Some have the entire menu. It's whatever they want to identify as support for the Optimist Club. And so you go and you order that, and you either eat it on their patio or you take it home. And in order to encourage some traffic, we're going to have an early bird draw on Friday morning for everybody who supported the restaurants during the week of $500 cash. So everybody likes cash,
Of course.
So that's going to run Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then Friday and Saturday, the three of the ribbers, the professional ribbers, will come and join in, and you'll be able to come to either one. You go to the restaurants and support us. You go to the ribbers and support us. No matter where you go, whatever meal you purchased is going to get you another ballot, and those ballots are going to be entered in for a cash draw on the following Monday for $1,000 cash and second place of $500 cash. So, I mean, just by going out and eating some amazing food, you can look at winning up to $2,000. So I think it's a good deal.
The more you eat, the better chances you got.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a win-win.
So if you go to, one of the participating restaurants, whether it's Truffles or Schnitzels or Spicy Pearl or Shoeless Joe's or whichever one, and you bring your family of 5 and you eat, well, that's 5 chances to win, right? And then the businesses are going to give a portion of their proceeds towards the Optimist Club so we can continue on doing the stuff that we love to do in the community to support youth.
Yes. So we have a question. Beyond coming to eat, what can we do to support this initiative?
Well, I guess the most obvious thing are donations. We always like donations. And keep in mind that it's the restaurants that are participating, they're not necessarily serving ribs. So you take like Simply Jennifer, obviously she's not going to have a rack of ribs sitting waiting for you, but she's going to have something amazing. We know that.
Cinnamon buns.
So, yeah, exactly. So, whatever she chooses to decide to support us with, you can go down and have something amazing, and you could still, like I said, we'll still take donations. Excuse me. But
Love it.
Yeah.
You better not come down with COVID this week,
no
Terry
kidding.
Muir.
No, it's your perfume. That's it.
Perfume, that's it.
But I mean, anybody who wants to help us, they can go on to our Optimist Club of Cornwall page and make a donation. They can do an e-transfer, anything at all. We're grateful for whatever we get.
And sponsorships. If you are a business or even an individual, you can absolutely sponsor Ribfest. You can go to the website cornwallribfest.com and go to the sponsor section, and you can also donate from there as well. So
yeah, exactly.
That's how you can help. So you got a whole bunch of volunteers who are going to be there the days of Ribfest. So how does that look? Like if I go online and I purchase my ribs today, how does that look? How do I get them?
Well, the intent, depending on where we set up, is we want to run at least 2 lines. So if you've pre-ordered, then we want to get you through as fast as possible. You're going to pull up, identify your order. We're going to put a number on your vehicle, probably just a little sticky note or whatever, to identify who you are, and then we'll call ahead and let the ribbers know you're coming. They'll have your order ready. Somebody from there will walk over to your vehicle, hand it to you, and you'll pick up whatever else you want on your way out, but then you have to leave the property and go home. If you don't pre-order or prepay, well, obviously that's going to be a little bit longer. We're going to have a second line that will allow you to come in and place your order or pay for it. And then same thing, drive through, somebody brings out your order to your vehicle.
Okay. Sounds good. So Gus and George, one of the things that always come up on our websites and on our Facebook page, the comments about the ribbers, bringing them from outside and saying that they're from the United States. So I'm going to ask you guys, where are you guys from?
I'm from London, Ontario.
Yeah.
He's actually from Greece.
Actually, I'm from Greece.
Right?
And, just swam over.
Yeah, and I reside in Ontario as well. So, I get it. Everybody's saying, where are these guys from and whatnot. But either way, we'll be quarantining before we go anywhere. Anyways, like right now, George is here, but I mean, we haven't gone anywhere. We are going to be running a very safe booth for sure. It's been approved by health, and the hoops that we have to, go through to get this thing off the ground is definitely not what we're accustomed to, and all the other restaurant guys in Cornwall would know what I'm talking about with the extra cost and PPE and all that stuff. Like, the checklist thing that we have to check all the employees every morning and every night, like it's a big process. So, we're going to run a very safe event, and it's a concern of ours too. Like we definitely don't want to get ill either. Right. Yes, so everything has to be on the up and up. Right.
Yeah. So I'm going to go to Hassan. So we're talking about PPE and adjustments, and how did that look for you in Schnitzels? What has changed on a daily basis?
Well, just alone, we now ask that guest always wear a mask. And, before it used to be just walk in, we didn't care. We have hand sanitizer stations now at the employees' entrance door. And then we also have one at the front door. I have to have masks available at all times. We have masks. There's a location in our kitchen alone just for a pile of masks for our staff. I've purchased shields for them. It's just all these new expenses it's crazy.
Oh,
For us, one thing, our pizza oven it's an exposed pizza oven. It's so now we have to put plexiglass around a station like this, where already that oven's working at over 600 Fahrenheit in there. So this guy is going to be in a box now, closed up with heat glaring at him.
It's not funny.
And exactly, it's not fun at all.
oh my.
It's just we're trying to adapt with the new ways and with the guidelines that we're receiving. They're giving us guidelines, but they're not really giving us the full list of how it should be done. And they're putting it in our hands to figure out, okay, well, if you want to make sure people don't come in with a mask, you need to do this, this, and this. So we've created a whole new policy list. It's hanging on our patio railing. So it's a whole different ballgame. Restaurants already, we had guidelines to follow. So it was just to take those guidelines and just go to the extreme of it. And now it's just kind of day by day, we're just going with it and seeing what's the new step, what's new. We're always messaging the Eastern Ontario Health Board just to see if we're still following the proper guidelines. We want to make sure that we're not denying anyone any access. We do have staff members that are immune compromised, and we want to keep them safe. So if customers do not want to wear a mask, we're offering them takeout instead too. So it's a lot of expenses happening and just trying to figure out the whole thing.
And then you got Mother Nature to contend with.
Well, this weekend we had rain, and usually when it rains, people are running inside, but we're not allowed to have people in the restaurant right now. Even if it rains, we're supposed to pack it up and say, have a nice day. But with our umbrellas, we were kind of lucky. So people kind of hovered closer to the bubble while the server is wearing a garbage bag and just bringing out food. So we're trying to find ways around this. Like if there's thunder and lightning, that's where we're like, okay, you know what? It's really done. Or the rain's going on an angle here, umbrellas flying. Then we're like, we don't want to fly away like Mary Poppins, right? So
and heat too. I heard that you kind of closed last week because of the heat.
Down. Yeah, I closed down for lunch because I don't want to see any of my staff members passing out on the patio because they're in and out. They're not taking breaks like normal people. In restaurants, your break is a 5-minute, take a quick water and get back at it because your customers are there having their real breaks. So it's just, I was like, I had to take the decision of, do I want to make money or do I want to lose, or I want to keep my staff? Well, I want to keep my staff. If they're not here, I'm not making money anyways. So give them the morning off. They come in at night. It's still hot, but it's manageable. And the sun isn't on our patio anymore. It's behind our building. So we have this shade working with us, and again, it comes down to safety for me.
Right.
Yeah.
But to be clear, Gus and George, heat or no heat, your ear, right?
Yeah, you got it. No matter what, we've been through earthquakes and tornadoes. This isn't going to be any different.
We've had a few Ribfests that were pretty scary.
Oh, we were there.
Yep.
I know.
Oh, we know.
There's nothing like 35 to 40 degree temperature and standing over an open flame cooking ribs, right?
Yep.
Best feeling ever. I'd take that right now. I'd be doing that all day if I could.
Yeah. Just to get out, right?
I miss it now.
I think one of the things that people are forgetting too is that restaurants, whether it's a mobile restaurant, whether it's a bricks and mortar, they're under extreme scrutiny to begin with, right? I mean, the cleanliness, you have to be perfect, otherwise you get shut down. But I mean, in these times, everybody involved is going to go work extra hard because, I mean, just imagine if somebody got sick in your business, it would destroy you in the public media. So, I mean, the threat is out there, but the guys and gals that are running all these businesses, they're not taking any chances.
No.
They're working extra hard.
Yeah.
That's the new normal.
Yep.
We'll see.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a reverse of the new normal because I don't like the new normal one bit. I hope there's a reversal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, so I'm gonna wrap it up soon, but before I go, I have a few more questions for Terry. A lot of people have been asking who else is coming.
So gotta take that.
Well,
You start.
somebody's phone is on.
Do you need me to mute you? Or are you okay? Okay. So yeah, who else is coming?
Well-
Namely, we've been asked about the bloomin' onion, like time
Well,
and time again.
that I can't answer right today because I haven't been able to make that commitment. Same as where we're not announcing the location where the rivers will be yet, because we're hoping to we're still hoping to be downtown. So probably tomorrow I'll be able to make that announcement whether they're coming or not. But the good news is you got Texas Rangers, you got Krabbies, and we got Ribs Royale coming down for the Rivers. As far as the others, it might be blue and onion, it might be potato on a stick. You never know, right? Might even have something dessert wise. Yeah, ice cream would be good. Lots and lots of ice cream right now would be good. But yeah, so it's going to be whatever shows up. I should be able to announce it tomorrow, and it's going to has to be something that can be served quick and safely.
Yeah.
And not compete with, something that's already out in the community either, right? So I mean, that would be self-defeating.
Well, speaking of competing, at least maybe Hassan will consider a blooming onion if they don't come.
I had one of my staff members bring it up. He's like, I make a mean one. So, right now we're trying to keep that European feel while we're doing this rib event. So you'll see what we're coming up with. We're excited.
Can't wait.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm going to let you go. I don't want to take too much of your time, more of your time. Thanks for coming, and I hope this is a huge success for all of you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies.
All right. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, Mylise, I'm going to unmute you. But I still have that feedback.
Weird. I don't know what else to do on my end because I haven't even touched anything.
So I don't know what that's about. Do you hear the feedback?
Nope.
Oh,
I don't hear anything at all.
Okay,
No,
so I'm
I
the
hear
only one
nothing.
who hears it.
Yeah, I don't hear any feedback. I didn't before either.
I'm gonna ask people if they hear the feedback. Do you hear feedback when I'm talking? Nobody's answering.
Anyway, I'm glad you asked that question about where they're from.
Well, I knew you
Where
wanted
the
to ask
rivers are from,
it.
because that was what I wanted to ask, of course, but you muted me, so I couldn't. But anyway, that was okay, because that to me was very important. Because a lot of people think because of their names that they come from the States. And it's nice to know that they're all from Ontario.
Yes.
Because right now, unfortunately, I don't think we would want them to come from the States. Not
Yeah,
nice.
no, they wouldn't be.
Well, they wouldn't be able to.
Right. But okay. So people are saying they're hearing the feedback, so I'm gonna mute you when I'm gonna mute you when I'm talking and unmute you when you're talking. So the fact that they're from Ontario is also like you're still supporting local. Like it's not local, but it's not Cornwall local, but it's still Ontario.
Yeah, it's true. And that's very important.
Yeah. So I hope that so you guys were really quiet this morning. Last week we had a ton of comments on all the stuff that we Lucia says it's nice to hear your voice twice, Julia. So, last week we had a ton of comments. This week you guys are very quiet. I thought for sure that we would have a lot of questions because it's Ribfest.
But it was nice because the guys answered a lot of questions already. So a lot of things that people would ask, Terry already talked about. My big thing is, where is it going to be held? But of course we won't know until the next few days. But that's my big question.
Yeah, and I think that's on everybody's mind. They think the logical place would be the civic complex. I'm not sure if that's happening or not. So, but yeah, it'll be announced in the next few days.
Good. It has to be, because it's taking place in the next few days.
So, where are you gonna go? Who are you gonna support? Where are you gonna eat somewhere? What are your plans? Do you have any plans?
At the moment, I'm not really sure, because we're not around town too much, because I don't know if you guys know, we bought some property around Martintown, St. Raphael. So we're usually out there working, but we will be visiting. I will be getting some ribs this year. That's for sure, because every year at Ribfest, we're doing weddings. So we can never visit Ribfest. So this year, because of this situation, we will be able to get one of the three for sure. I definitely will be doing the ribs.
Awesome. So I want to show people the list of restaurants that are participating right now, because there's a whole bunch of restaurants. There's like 24, I think, so far. So the Spicy Pearl Schnitzels, 800, King George Restaurant, Edward's Bistro, Sheep's Head, Simply Jennifer, Truffles, Boston Pizza, Shoeless Joe's, the Glengarrian, The Pit, Cora's Cornwall, the Blue Anchor, Spinner's Diner, Birchwood Cafe, Esca Gourmet Pizza, Lancaster Pizzeria, Peppermills, and Au Vieux du Lutte is who is participating so far.
So I do see a few of those restaurants where I'm going to have to go visit for sure. I'll have to drag Sheldon out there one way or the other. So
Yeah, well, I'm gonna do a few as well. It's a perfect opportunity. I haven't gone out in ages. I've taken like I've done the odd takeout here and there, but I haven't done much of it. Like mainly McDonald's here, and a couple of times I went to Lola's, but yeah, so that's the perfect opportunity. There's a lot of savings. What?
maybe you and I should go and do a few actually at this point, because I haven't even seen you other than on a screen.
I know. So there's a lot of savings anyways, because the last few months we haven't been going out at all. So, there's money there to go and support our local restaurants.
For sure. I hope next week we can work it a little bit differently. This muting and unmuting is hard.
Yeah, it is, but it's just that otherwise, like my voice just keeps on repeating. It's I don't know. I'm not sure, because you always use the same tablet, right?
Always, and I never touch anything because I wouldn't even know what to touch on it. So
Yeah, there's never been an echo before,
no.
so I don't know. Yes, Gail. Au Vieux de Lutte food is really good, and they're giving 50% of their souvlaki platters to the Optimist Club of Cornwall. So if you go, please, I hope you like souvlaki.
Nice.
All right. Well, I think that's going to be a wrap today, just because of our technical difficulties.
Yeah, especially because we can't talk back and forth. It's very difficult. So I think we need to wrap it up, and hopefully next week be back on track.
We'll sort our technical problems for next week.
Yeah.
Oh, Jason says it's working fine. You don't hear an
so I
echo,
know.
Jason? So,
Okay, so
anyway.
I guess we're okay then. All right. Well, there are a few things. We do have a few minutes, and I will mention a few things. The farmers market at the Brick is opening back up. It's going to be open on Saturdays from 7 to noon, from now until Thanksgiving. One of my favorites is Reuben's Brewing is now open on Sundays from noon to 4. Bonus for me because I live right across the road from them, and I love their beer. And Tilly's Eatery and Delicatessen has been closed for a little while. She's going to be opening again tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. And also a big, quick congratulations. Cornwall Racetrack is open on Sundays, but of course, no spectators. And this week we had some racing going on, and I'm going to say a big congratulations to Brianna Ladouceur on her 40-lap dirt car sportsman win last night, which is wonderful because I've known Brianna since she's been a little girl. So she's kudos and congratulations to
Well,
Brianna.
she was the winner of a Seeker's Choice Award.
She was.
The athlete of the year, right?
Yes, she was. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, she's doing really well. So that's wonderful. I think there's a few other things going on, but what I'll do is I'll do a little out and about, do a little get together of everything and put it on our Facebook page. So like there are events starting. Like I said, there are things starting, but of course with all the precautions. So
Okay.
that we have.
So I'm going to just remind people that they can also, so they can go on our website to post their events. And also because this was all about Ribfest today, I'm going to tell the community that if you can help in any way, you can donate, you can become a sponsor, you can become a vendor. There are very good opportunities to help the Optimist Club. Go to the website cornwallribfest.com and check it all out. It's brand new. It's beautiful. I'm super proud of what I've done. So go and check out the website.
I patted you on the back there. There you go.
All right. It's going to be a wrap for us today. And thank you for listening. We'll talk to you next week.
Have a super duper week. Bye.
Have a super duper week.